I want to give all the glory to God for where I'm coming from, where I am, and where He's taking me to. I want to say mine is a tale of it can only be God. And at every point in my life, it can only get better. But what I tell people in all, that at the end of the day, giving up is never, or was never, is never, and will never be an option for me. I remember casting my mind back to when I was a teenager. Some situation took me out of my parents' house, and I met myself living. I discovered that I had to live with a family, supposed trusted family friend of my family, which at that time seemed to be the best place that I could live. Seemed to be the best place where I could get a godly teaching, where I could get all the best in life. But unfortunately, I met a situation that would change my thinking, affect me psychologically, affect me emotionally for the rest of my life. At 16, I was continuously violated by a man that is supposed to be a man of God. Well, as a grown-up woman now, I'd looked for him everywhere. I can't find him. But I just thank God for what I've gone through. Unfortunately, he took it up to himself to violate me on a daily basis while taking me to school. And whenever he found out that his wife was not in town, his wife traveled, he would use the opportunity to have a field time with me. Every point in time, I knew that I was always crying. I was always begging, saying, "Daddy, please, Daddy, please, Daddy, please." I actually didn't even know what he was doing. I didn't even know that was what was called sex. I didn't even understand, but I knew that I was in pains whenever I was doing it, and I knew that he was just doing something that was wrong. But because as at then, I was my final year in secondary school, my wife depended on him, everything depended on him as at that point in time. I couldn't open my mouth to tell anybody. I had to be patient. I was patient enough to wait till I finished my YINK. I was a brilliant student in school, but when I got to my final year, nobody knew what I was going through. I kept it all to myself. Even my closest friend, so to speak, never knew what I was going through. I remember that my mathematics teacher called me on a particular day and said to me, "Kenny, what is happening to you? What's wrong with you?" She wasn't happy about my grades as at my final year, but I couldn't still open up to her. And I remember that when I went to check my result, she was waiting for me at the entrance of the school, and she met me with a dirty slap because she felt that I was supposed to be one of the best students. She really anticipated, looked forward to my result, but nobody knew what I was going through, because I had to go back home to a man that would violate me. I was living in emotional imbalance at that point in time. I managed to finish my YINK. The day I finished my YINK, I left the house. I went back to my mom's place. My mom was living in a very small room with my brothers. Everybody matured. I made up my mind that I was going to stay there no matter what, and try and see what I can make out of my life. To the glory of God, I was determined to be a success. I didn't have a father that was ready to, at that time, that was ready to send me to school. I remember that when I went to my father, then he said to me he said some things, and I left him in tears. So I had to see myself through a part-time school where I did my secretarial administration, and when I did that, I was also working. And I can remember that my school fees was 500 naira more than my salary. I had to struggle to make ends meet, struggle to be there for my siblings, because as at then I was the only one that had the opportunity to have a job as at that time. But one thing was really affecting me at that time. I was looking for love, because I was always feeling that I was always having this feeling of being used, being worthless, that I was just nothing. So I just needed somebody to love me. I just needed to be loved. And I know I still say it till now, that a woman that is violated, a woman that has been sexually assaulted, looks for three things in life. She either looks for love, or she gets mad at every male that comes her way, or she just wants vengeance. She wants to get back at the world that's turned our destiny around in the negative way. But in my case, all I was looking for is love, because I felt rejected, I felt abandoned. And unfortunately, I met somebody, so to speak, that said he loved me. And you can imagine a teenager. I fell in for him, and unfortunately, I got pregnant for the first time. That was another tale of woe in my life. I got pregnant. He disowned the pregnancy. I looked at myself that I have a future. I have a dream. I want to make something out of myself. I just don't want to be a layabout. Despite my situation, despite my background, despite the fact that I came from an humble home, I wanted to be somebody in life. I said to myself, I didn't want this pregnancy. The unfortunate thing was that I was alone in my own world at that time. I had nobody, no friend, no sister that I could talk to. I wasn't even close to my mom. My mom didn't even know me. She just knew she had a daughter. My mom didn't know my real person. She didn't know the person in me. My mom had a different impression about me all through the time I was growing up. So I was alone, always alone with my thoughts, always alone with my decisions, always thinking of what to do next, where to go next. I moved around the streets of Lagos with the pregnancy. I know I didn't want the pregnancy, and I got myself into one of the hospitals. I met the doctor, and the doctor said to me he was going to perform a D&C for me for 350 naira. 350 naira as at then was big money. Lo and behold, I could not afford 350 naira. I went everywhere from pillar to pole to look for 350 naira. Lo and behold, up until I was 5 months pregnant. I went back to him. When I got back to him, I explained to him that I couldn't get that much. I think I got 1 rand. Can't remember, but I know that I got a little less than half of the money. The doctor said to me, he looked at me and said to me, "Oh, you're a pretty woman, you're a pretty girl. I wonder why you have to allow yourself to be used and dumped by all these small boys around, all these small boys in the Butemeta. He talked and said, the long and short of his story was, he wanted to get down with me, to do it for free. But I was desperate. I cried. I pleaded with him, but his mind was made up. So I had to go through another round of sexual assault again in life. He slept with me before he did the D&C. He slept with me after the D&C. So all this I went through, and I went through it alone at the age of 17. Started when I was 16, between the age of 16, 17 and 18. I was broken. I was shattered. But I made up my mind that if God ever gives me a daughter in life, I'll protect her with my life. And I walked out of that hospital telling myself that someday I'll be there for every teenage girl. As many teenage girls that comes my way, I will try as much as I can so that no man will take an undue advantage of a teenage girl, no matter what the girl is going through. So many things happened. I went on with a vision. A lot of things, a lot of water went under the bridge. I became an adult, but I still went with my dream. Along the course of my life, I met some young girls. I made a mark in their life. I didn't really take it as a big deal. But as I grew up, the passion kept on growing in me to be a blessing to girls. I started having encounters, different encounters with different girls, seeing the things they are going through. And at every point in time when I have any encounter with a girl, I always have a flashback of what happened to me. Yes, I was able to pick up the pieces of my life and make something out of myself. But a lot of girls today, they end up either being prostitutes or they end up wasting away. And that is what brought about this vision. I started going about doing seminars for girls, having girls in group. I started meeting people that are doing similar things with me along the line. I met Betty Abba. Betty Abba played a big role in starting up this NGO. We started going out together. We'll go and talk to girls. We talk about how to be tidy during their menstrual cycle. We talk about sexual assault. We talk about so many things. We try to enlighten the girls. We try to open their eyes up to ways in which they can easily be swept away unconsciously. With time, I started doing all these activities. I remember that sometime we went to somewhere in Makoko. We met with some girls. We talked to some girls. We went on different occasions, and I found out that I was happy doing this. I was happy touching lives. I was happy being a blessing to these girls. A time came that I needed to, take it a bit further. I needed to do some things that will really put a mark. But I couldn't do it without having an NGO, without registering an NGO, because at one point the program got bigger than me. I needed the assistance of well-meaning Nigerians, people that has the same vision with me, to assist me to do this so that we can touch as many lives as possible. And that was what brought about YINKAKENNY Girls Care Foundation.
On behalf of the First Lady of Lagos State, Her Excellency Mrs. Bolanle Ambode, to the glory of God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And the YINKAKENNY Girls Foundation started up with a seminar, My Daughter, My Friend. My Daughter, My Friend brought about the unveiling of YINKAKENNY Girls Care Foundation. So YINKAKENNY Girls Care Foundation did not start on the day of the unveiling. It started years before, because I'd done a lot of things with several girls, but we just had to unveil the NGO officially, and I sat down to say that of all my projects, which is the most paramount in my heart, and I said to myself, is the mother-daughter relationship. Because while I was a teenager, if I had a friend in my mom, or I was close enough to her, probably she could have seen through me. She could have seen a lot of things. She could have seen what I was going through emotionally. She could have known the real me. I realized that a lot of women today, have mingled with girls. They talk to me, they gist with me. I realized that they don't have friends in their mom. They don't gist with their mom. Even when they gist with their mom, they don't really open up. They rather open up to me than open up to their mom. Why is this so? It's because their mom has not put themselves in a vantage position for these children to see them. So that was why I said, okay, let's do something. My daughter, my friend, it just came. Because I know that I used to joke with my daughter. I said, you're my friend now, you're my pal, you're my gist mates, you're my gist partner. So okay, my daughter, my friend, and that was how my daughter, my friend came. And we unveiled My Daughter, My Friend. It was a great success. Thank you, a big thank you to all the facilitators that came around. The former First Lady of Lagos State was represented. I say big thank you to Mrs. Towo Kewale. In fact, she was one of the people that really pushed me as in Yinka, you can do this. Yinka, just do this. It's going to happen. And a big thank you to her. She pushed me onto it, and here we are today doing it. And after My Daughter, My Friend, the first edition, we went on to do 4G Giants in Festac. 4G Giants, I'm a girl, I'm good, I'm great, and I can be a genius. And ever since, 4G Giants has become an event we do 3 times in a year in 3 different communities. In a year, we try to pick different communities and do the seminar. We enlighten the children on danger signals to rape. We talk to them about drug abuse, how they can be swept away systematically by drugs, or by those that are addicted with drugs, how they can lure them, how they can be lured so that they can watch out, things to watch out for. We talk to them about it. And the greatest of them all, we teach them, we bring in our martial arts experts. We bring them in, they teach them how to defend themselves, probably when they are caught unawares, because most of the times it's not how strong you are, but the tactics that you can make use of to free yourself, to let go from the perpetrator. So that's a very, very important aspect of our seminar. Anywhere we go to, we bring them in to teach them several ways they can defend themselves. So we've had 4G Giants in Festac. The first thing they teach them is how to set themselves free, how to, when you are being grabbed, how you can systematically, let go of the hook. And we tell them, once you are off the hook, the next thing you do is run away. And also in all our seminars, we tell them numbers to call in case they have somebody probably in their environment or wherever that is harassing them. Also, one of our programs that we do is a program I call 21st Century Parenting. Yes, 21st century parenting, because it's parenting today differs from parenting of yesterday. Today, and the girl did not just drop from heaven. She was given birth to by a mother and a father. So, and she has brothers in the house. So everybody all together plays an important role in the life of the girl child. So that's why we brought about the program 21st Century Parenting, where we educate parents in general, mothers, fathers, uncles, brothers, everybody that serves as a parent figure to the girl child, how to train your child in today's environment, even in the busy schedule of today, even with today's technology, even with today's mechanism, even with today's enlightenment. First century parenting is all encompassing, all you need to know about parenting in today's world. Over the time, we say a big thank you to Foluke Daramola. She's always been at our seminars to share her experience of how she was sexually assaulted as a baby, and today look at where she is. So we do that also. We also try to touch lives here and there. One of the situation we had was a situation of a mother and a baby that was stranded in the hospital. She had a baby through a cesarean operation, and she had no money, and unfortunately the doctor said that since the third day she put to bed, he has not seen the husband. She was there for several weeks, and somebody called my attention to it to please help our sister get out of the hospital. We called on well-meaning Nigerians. I called on friends. I called on people from the social media, and in a week I had responses rather, and to the glory of God, we're able to assist her out of the hospital. We're able to even give her some money to start up a small business, because I asked her, I said, what does she want to do? She said she could sell akara, fry akara and sell akara. So we gave her some money, we gave her some food stuff to take home so that she can start a life.
Good Lord, we fill your pocket. I don't. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
On our own, we've been able to touch one or two people. Several occasions we've tried to give some people some money to start the pure water. At times you look at the fact that 5,000 naira is a small money. It takes you to do something for somebody and you see the result before you value the little monies you give out. I remember a situation, there's somebody at Mushi bus stop that will always call me, auntie, all the time when she sees me if I pass through that place. What did I do to her? We went to do one of our programs we call Operation Feed the Elderly, and she picked up my number, and she kept on calling. And one day she said to me that all she needs from me is 2,000 naira to buy pure water so that she can start selling. I was like, 2,000 naira? I said to myself, this man should just say I should give her 2,000 naira. I said, okay. I just sent the money to her, and I didn't even know who I sent money to, because she was always talking to me on phone. Until the first day she called me at the bus stop, auntie, I saw her, with her pure water, blah and blah and blah, and I felt fulfilled. And over the time, the next time she would call me, I saw where she was now with bottle of minerals, blah and blah and blah. And you see, you just feel happy that you're touching people's lives, even in your own little way. So we've tried to do that here and there, try to help some of the girls with their school fees. God has helped us just that far. And also the elderly ones are not left out, because I tell people when I say YINKAKENNY Girls Care Foundation will deal with the entire feminine gender. Anybody that is a female is a girl, and anybody that is a female matters to us. So the elderly ones are not left out. We try to do a program we call Operation Feed the Elderly. What do? Operation Feed the Elderly. We go at every point in time. We try to get food stuff to give to the elderly people, to make them feel loved. Most importantly, during festival period, we do it in most times during Easter. We do it during the Christmas time, and I try to do it on my birthday at times, and I try to do it as often as I get the little change to do it. It's just that, you know, these programs, every time it only gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But I want to believe God that God has been there for us since we started. He's still there with us, and He will continue to be with us. My aim, my vision for this NGO and for a lot of girls, because I still have the burden to be a blessing to a lot of girls out there. Yes, I won't leave without telling every girl, giving every girl a little word of advice. And my little word of advice is to every girl is that make sure that every time, everywhere, no matter the situation you find yourself in, try to protect yourself. And if you feel you can't do it alone, look for someone reliable to talk to. Don't keep it to yourself. Speak out at every point in time. Every one of our programs since we started has been free of charge. No matter the level, the extent which we go to, no matter whatever we do for these girls, it's always been free of charge. Funding has not been easy. I try to source for funds from friends and loved ones, and from people that are up high there above me. Funding, it's really not been easy, but I try to talk to people that buy into my vision, because this is a non-governmental organization and it's totally non-profit. So I try to appeal to people that buys into my vision, that wants to support this vision, and they are ready to invest into this vision to make the lives of today's girls that will become tomorrow's women and tomorrow's mother a better life. Someday I hope to have an outfit that will serve as a form of job creation for girls. As in, I hope to have an outfit where we'll have an ICT training center, we'll have a fashion design center, we have the hairdressing center, and we have the catering center, all in one outfit, where girls will come in, they will do their training free of charge, and when they are done, we set them up so they can start their own life. That's my vision, and I hope that I'm going to get people to support me. I need the support of, I can't do this on my own. I don't even have any fund to do this. I can only do it with your support. I crave for your support. Support me in this and let me be able to touch more lives, because that is what I know, I believe, I strongly believe that I'm born for, touching the lives of many girls. That comes my way. Thank you.